Thanks everyone for coming today. We really appreciate it. We know some of you have travelled a long way. Also thanks to Keith and his team for hosting today. We really appreciate it, and especially letting us get out onto the grass as well, which is what we're all here for. We're here at this amazing iconic stadium, the home of English rugby, and we're really proud to be here. I hope you all take the chance to do the tour at the end as well and have a look around this stadium, because it really is one of the most incredible in the country. My name's Austin Jarrett. I'm the Managing Director of Allett Mowers. We've also got the Allett team here, and I'll just make you aware of them so that if you've got any questions while we're down on the pitch or whatever, you'll know who we've got. First of all, Steve, who's sales, has already introduced himself. He's organised today. Thanks very much for that, Steve. We've got Steve Copnell. Just stand up, Steve. So Steve's works with our products, so if you've had demonstrations or if you need to know any level of expertise on the products, then Steve's the man. You sit down. Laura, who looks after our digital marketing side of things, she does a really great job. If you don't follow us, then you really should. It's really entertaining. We've got Neil Payne. Neil. So Neil looks after all of our sales administration side. We've got John Gittings. John is our innovation and engineering manager. So he's responsible for this product down here. If you want a good talk with him about how you would do things differently, then he's definitely the man. He's all ears. We've got Glyn Allen, new to the team. Glyn looks after, he's our key account manager. And so Glyn's responsible for this type of product throughout the country. And we've got Steve Hankey's not here, is he? Is he coming?
He'd be around later.
He'd be around later. So we have our after-sales service manager as well here. And finally, James Till. James Till is is director and generally manages the business on a day-to-day basis. So we don't let James out very often, actually. He's normally chained behind his desk in the factory. So if he looks a bit startled, you'll know why. We also have partner company as well. Alan Wilson is here. So Alan's from Handy Distribution, and we've brought some other products along for you to have a look at that are really associated with our strategy going forward on these battery electric products. I put the Union flag up there because we are a British company, we're a wholly owned British company. We are manufacturing and designing our products here in the UK, and we're extremely proud of that. And that you'll see every single one of our products we put the Union flag on. It really helps us. We think people like to buy British and feel comfortable with that. But especially export is such an important part of our business, and I'll just be talking about that and why it's so important to our business. But we are extremely proud of that. As far as our history is concerned, the Allett brand was started by this great man here. This is Reg Allett. And this is Reg Allett sat on, he's his very first Regal. And his son Roy and his youngest son Dave are still with the business. And Roy was telling me that actually that machine, although we started the business in 1965, I wasn't around then, the business was started in 1965, and that product was built in 1965 as their first product. That came back in for a service in 1971, and Dad, Reg Allett, said, Roy, just nip and get the camera, and they took a photograph of that in the apple orchard in their back garden, and literally their workshop at that time was a garage by the side of the house. This is our factory now. This is Regal House. We moved there actually at the beginning of last year. We've been growing steadily and we needed more manufacturing space. And we're based in Staffordshire. And if you don't know where Staffordshire is, you've got to think of probably Alton Towers and JCB. Those are very close neighbours to us, but we're ideally situated right in the middle of the country and very close to airports to get out of the country when we need to and back. Allett Mowers, we make lawn mowers, and typically those are the products that we're making, and the markets that we serve are football is a very important market for us, not just in the UK, but also because it's such a large global sport. But cricket is also one of those very niche English products. But you have to remember that cricket actually is one of the biggest spectator sports in the world. And that's mainly because of the Indian market, where they pretty much do nothing else other than cricket. So cricket itself is potentially our biggest market of all. We also supply products as well to this organisation, which we're very proud of. This is the Commonwealth War Graves Commission. These people use 800 of our mowers, and they are mowing the war graves all over the world, and they have a massive amount of grass to mow in this country, but also France and Belgium, and amazing amount of countries in North Africa, Japan, Australia and elsewhere. And they're responsible for tending the graves of all the fallen from the First World War. We're very proud to be associated with them. They create some absolutely amazing environments to be proud of. We also make products for the homeowner market, and they're cylinder mowers. And we made the acquisition of the Atco and Suffolk Punch products back in 2011. So this is also, you might not be aware of this, but this is also an extremely important product line for us. And you can see the product here. You're actually going to have, we're doing a raffle later on, and we're actually putting up one of these latest battery-driven cylinder mowers for your home. Not for a stadium, and we've got this up for raffle at the end of today. The customers that we have for these types of products create amazing results like this. We tend not to call these people customers, they're more like Allett groupies. And you'll see from our digital media, we're constantly getting photographs of the next greatest creation of an amazing lawn. And one of the biggest and most significant things that we've done is in the last 3 seasons ago, we launched this lithium-ion model. And this has been extremely successful for us, and it really did get us thinking about what the customers want from mowing products in the future. And this really gave us a great indication of the spirit of the way people are thinking now about the environment and about their personal environment too. Allett, as a British manufacturer, one of the biggest things for us is the export market. I talked about the Union flag being a really important part of our proposition, and it really helps us when we come to export. You know, these amazing striped surfaces that you see in our sports facilities, the groundsmen in this country are without doubt the best in the world. And we're probably good judges of that because we get to travel to stadiums all over the world and we see them. So the excellence that we have in sports surfaces, but also in these quintessentially English lawns, which is a brand really throughout the world, is really recognised. And Allett rides certainly on the back of that, and export is really important for us. 50% of the Major League Baseball grounds are now using Allett products. Striping is particularly important to them. And the Americans are very strong on Buy American. They're very proud about that. But when it comes to mowing their stadiums now, we're starting to make some very serious inroads into that. That's Chase Field there, the Arizona Diamondbacks. Last year in particular was a very strong year for us on export, and this is in Russia for the World Cup. We supplied over 185 professional units for mowing the 12 stadiums around Russia. We're really proud to be associated with that too. As Allett as a business, we've been growing. This is from 2013 to where we are in 2019 now. We've seen some very considerable growth, and as I said, export's really important to us. And when you look at the yellow here, the yellow is actually our export growth, so you can see how that's really contributed. We've predicted slightly less growth in the export for this year, mainly because we supplied so many units to Russia last year that it really made the factory particularly busy. And we're very proud that last month the Queen recognised the business with her Queen's Award for Enterprise for International Trade. And that is for 5 years of continuous growth, which is quite a tricky thing to achieve. 5 years of continuous growth in export. And so Her Majesty awards this award because of the contributions that real manufacturing jobs like we create contribute towards the British economy. So we're very proud of that. We're here to launch new products, and I really just want to talk to you about what we're thinking about of our future products and the general philosophy of what it is that we're doing going forward now. So this is the product we're here to see, and I really hope you're going to see what the advantages are of this new type of drive for mowers for our industry. And it's very obvious, this is the same list as Tesla are using for their electric cars. We've got zero emissions at point of use. There's no petrol management, and I know that is an issue in stadiums like this and the fire hazards that creates. The machine's very quiet, and you'll see that, or at least hear that, in an hour or so. Reduced hand-arm vibrations, which you know has been a bit of an industry problem with this handheld equipment. Of course, they are cheaper to run, which is important. And what we've done as part of our philosophy is we've said that we want the batteries on this system to fit into other products. And we've applied for 3 patents on this because with the electric drive, we're just able to add additional features into the product so much more easily than we would do if this had a Honda engine on it. So our new products from us are very much focused on the environmental side of things. I think we're seeing a very large sea change in the way that we're approaching and we're thinking about the environment. And certainly as a company, we're very on board with that, as you can see with the developments we're making in our products. But reduced CO2 emissions are absolutely critical. Whether you believe Donald Trump and in complete denial or not, that's up to you. But I think the evidence is extremely compelling now. If you do agree with Donald Trump, and this is all just fake news, then you do need to be thinking about particulate matter. I think it's our next hand-arm vibration in this industry. And I'll just talk very briefly about PM 2.5, which is small particulate matter, which is generated when you are burning fuel. We're talking about greater levels of operator comfort. We're talking about more versatile machinery, which with electric drive we're able to achieve. And quieter and safer machinery as we go forward. If I can just talk ever so briefly about particulate matter. If this is a blow up of a single hair, and this is a very fine piece of sand, if this is a grain of pollen, then particulate matter at, they call it PM 2.5, that's a diameter of 2.5 microns. You can see that this is relative to the diameter of a hair, is very small particles, which are particularly created when fuel, wood smoke, whatever wood is burned, and that is actually extremely hazardous to us all, and it's long-term hazardous. And you'll have seen the stories in the news even just recently in terms of who's going to be liable for this going forward. Electric drive, I had to put this up. I've seen this on digital media. The top guy's driving a diesel car. I feel so dirty. The guy in the electric car, I feel so clean. But look at this dirty great power station behind me. And I really consider that to be extremely cynical. Okay, it's not our responsibility with the fuel we're burning. But when you see the inroads that we're making now, just in the UK alone, if you look at the green line and the renewable energy contributions now, the government has made great strides since year 2000 in terms of increasing our renewable clean energy generation, which we can benefit from for driving our mowers or our cars in the future. Although that is projected slightly into the future to exaggerate the curve, I think, you can see that we really are making some great progress on that. So, battery-powered lawnmowers. I think when you're considering battery, this is our the battery that we're using. Actually, we have different sizes. This is a 3 amp hour, and we're using 82 volts. That's maximum voltage, 72 volts nominal. And there's a lot of energy now with lithium ion that you can actually put into a battery of this size. And you'll see that the mower that we have downstairs is a mower that will mow a whole football pitch easily. When you are choosing your power supply for your car or even for your lawnmower, there's probably 2 main considerations. And I think the first is, in the car industry, they call it range anxiety. Am I going to get the whole football pitch mown? Am I going to be able to mow the area that I need to without having to go and recharge the batteries? We have 4 of these large batteries in this mower. You will mow a football pitch or a rugby pitch easily with the energy that there is in those batteries. Recharging is really easy as well, and if you recharge on the high speed and you have 2 sets of batteries, you will be able to continuously mow just by changing them out. By the time you've emptied the grass box and included that time in your mowing time, you'll be able to just change the batteries over and continuously mow. And we have a range of battery chargers that you can use with 1 battery, 2 batteries, or even 6 batteries at a time. The batteries that we're using are actually manufactured in China. They are the biggest manufacturer. They have all the technology on these batteries. And this is in conjunction with a company called Globe, who have several brands throughout the world. And the technology, the very latest technology, is that we can connect this battery via Bluetooth to your telephone so that you can see what's going on with it. So by using this Greenfleet app, you can manage your 82 volt battery fleet from your phone. It's not just 1 battery you connect to, it's as many batteries as you want. And you can remotely see the charge levels, even the battery temperature, and you can even locate this battery on Google Maps directly from your phone. That has several different uses, and I'm sure you've already thought of who you can check on. You can even, if that battery or that machine was stolen, you could actually disable that battery from your mobile phone. Lots of different functionality as well, and different screens from the app. So that app is actually launched right at the end of this month. The second issue, I think, range anxiety. I think we have that covered. We have enough energy, and these lithium-ion batteries recharge very quickly. The next thing is batteries are very expensive, and if you've been looking at cars, a battery electric car is much more expensive than an engine with an internal combustion engine. So what have we thought about? How can we make the mower more affordable? We're doing the same as the car industry. You can lease these batteries instead of pay for them up front. So you were spending money on fuel, you're spending next to nothing on electricity to recharge these. And so that leasing will be more helpful. But the other thing we've done is that these batteries, you'll see, just click in and out of the product. So I can take these 4 products out. The battery weighs about 3 kilos, easy to carry. And with that 1 battery now, what you can do is other manufacturers are also using the same battery. So some of these brands you will recognize. But what that means is a lot of these products are 2-stroke type products, so chainsaws, brush cutters, hedge cutters. And when you're talking about particulate matter 2.5 microns, then the 2-stroke engine is a real criminal. And you need to be looking at that very seriously. And battery products now, especially when you're looking about 82 volt max, they really do perform as well as any 2-stroke engine product. And we have products here. Alan's has a range of products here. You can take the batteries and you can put them into his products there, and you can see that they're extremely usable products now. Blowers, powered wheelbarrows, rotary mowers with wheels, chainsaws, high-reach hedge cutters, all sorts of products like that. And so when we looked at these batteries are really expensive to go into our mower and makes our mower look really expensive. Actually, when you take all the batteries out and use them to power a whole bunch of products that you previously used with 2-stroke engines, that the cost is spread out amongst all the products that you're using in your stadium or your estate. And there are more and more products coming online from other manufacturers which will take these same batteries. And we're looking at even what these products would actually do. We would have opportunities to work with manufacturers to look at different beds, for example, for grass clippings removal, for example, with something like this, an electric drive. So I hope that gives you a rough idea, and you can see where we're trending on the battery power. We think that by about 2025, we don't think you should or be considering buying a petrol engine mower. These products are just so usable now. But we will still have petrol products available if that is your preference, but we will not be spending money developing that petrol product range. All of our development money will now be going into more environmentally friendly, easier to use, kinder to use products. And those will all be powered by lithium-ion batteries.